Okay, this is part 2 of my update video, and I'm going to start off with the Midwest Gaming Classic. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a gaming convention that takes place in the Midwest. They say it's the largest one in the Midwest. I don't know how many there actually are, but it does sound like it's going to be pretty big. From what I understand, they're going to have double the number of vendors tables that they've had in years past. I guess last year, I think I was reading, they had 75. This year, so far, they've got over 150. So that should be really cool. In addition to being able to go and buy stuff, they're going to have tons of arcade games, pinball games, all set to free play, so you can go in, play until your heart's content. They will also have a retro gaming museum, I can't remember which one it is, and you'll be able to actually go and play all of the old retro consoles and computers, which is very cool. They'll have tournaments, they'll have cosplay, they'll have all kinds of stuff there. I'm looking forward to it because I haven't been to a gaming convention like this. I've been to a couple of Comic-Cons. This is going to be more up my alley, though, I think. And we are going to be getting there Friday evening. We won't be leaving until Monday morning, so we will be able to be there for every minute from the time they open till the time they close, both days. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some other YouTubers there. Who told me they were going to be there? Retro Nest Hunter, Retro... Who the heck else is going to be there? I can't remember. There's another Retro, and I'm blanking on your name. I am so sorry. Who else is going to be there? BizNest17 is going to be there. CJR is going to be there. Crow111 is going to be there. I think I read online that Gamester81 is going to be there too. I don't know. So if you guys are there walking around and you see Lance and I, it will be his birthday on Saturday the 12th, so please go up, say, hey Lance, happy birthday. I think he would think it is cool, almost feel a little bit like a celebrity, that people he has never met before coming up and saying hi to him. So if you do that, I would consider it a personal favor. I would like to set up some kind of meetup with other YouTubers that are going to be there. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know, maybe we want to go out to eat Saturday night or go see a movie or do something other than just hang out at the convention. After the convention's over, I guess we couldn't hang out there anyway. So let me know if you're going. You can leave a comment down below, or better yet, make a video and then link it down below so that I can see who you are. Also, that will allow other people that are thinking about going to see who is going to be there, and we can all maybe hang out together one evening. Alright, on to the next topic. I can't remember all the things I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about my collection. I was going to talk about what happened. Oh, I'm going to talk about what happened. Okay, so you saw a little bit of a video that I posted showing kind of the aftermath. And to give you a little more detail in what happened, this is what happened. This is what they call a frost-free Silcock. I know that sounds dirty. It is essentially an exterior faucet. But what makes this one frost-free is you turn the handle here, but it opens and closes on the inside of the house so that this doesn't fill with water and freeze. This filled with water and froze, and you can see right there, I don't know if it'll show up, it actually burst, the copper. And the reason that happened, I actually, every year, I disconnect the hose and drain it out as soon as we have our first freeze. And my son was going and cleaning out his lizard cage, and he forgot to disconnect the hose and let it drain. So we had a really cold snap. It got well below zero, and apparently it froze and burst. Now, what makes it complicated is the fact that we didn't know. Because this thing shuts off inside the house, water didn't get to here. So what happened was, like a week later after it had warmed up, he was going out to warm up his, or not to warm up, to rinse out, to clean out his lizard cage, and he turned the faucet on. And he said, Daddy, I don't know what the problem is, the water's not coming out. And I said, well, you know, did you check and make sure the hose is connected? And he said, yeah, I'll go do that now. He came back in, said, Daddy, it's leaking from inside the wall. I run out and I look, and sure enough, it's leaking out from behind the drywall, because this actually sits in our garage. And I immediately panicked, thinking that it drained into the house and all over this stuff here. Well, I ran downstairs, I didn't see any water dribbling down onto this, and I thought, oh, thank God. Then I hear trickle, trickle, trickle in my left ear, and I look, and I could see water glistening, and because this is where they were at the time, I could see water glistening on my Sega Genesis games, and I just freaked out. I went and looked, and what happened is this thing leaked into the wall. It hit the sill of the foundation and it ran all the way to the corner. It bypassed this stuff, it bypassed the NES games, and it just rained down all over my Genesis, Master System, and 32X collection. And if you'd seen my shelves before, you know that it was kind of in two sections, two 4-foot sections. What happened is it came right down to the middle of the one section, dribbled down, and the 32X games were on top. They were mostly cardboard box games. They're drenched and wrinkled, and some of them are just ruined. And there's some pretty valuable games that were ruined. Very sad. Then it dribbled from there down onto the Master System, and I don't know if I'll take a picture or not, but basically 3/4 or better of my Master System games, the sleeves and the manuals were wet to some degree or other. A lot of them were just ruined. Same thing with the Genesis. I would say probably 2/3 of my Genesis, my box Genesis games, the manuals and artwork got, you know, some level of water damage. And I haven't tried to test the games yet. I'm sure most of the games will work fine once I get the opportunity to sit down and really test them. But, you know, the artwork and the manuals being damaged, that's, you know, 50%, sometimes more of the value of the game. And yes, I am a gamer. I have the games to play the games. But honestly, there is a certain measure of satisfaction, particularly for me with Sega Genesis and Master System games, in having them complete in the box. If, you know, Nintendo games, if I don't have them in the box, I'm okay with that because they look good displayed outside of the box. Genesis games, you can't really do that. And for me, the Master System was the first system that was all mine, then the Genesis, and there is all sorts of nostalgia for those. And when I was collecting them complete in box, I was doing it because of that sense of nostalgia. In terms of how I feel now, going from having a very large, approaching completion, at least for me, I wasn't going to collect the most of the sports games complete, but approaching, you know, what I consider completion with complete in-box games, going from a very large collection of those to a very large collection of loose carts, very, very disheartening. And honestly, I almost don't even want to bother anymore. Obviously, I'm going to keep the games, but there is a small part of me that says I really collect the hardware. The hardware is where my heart is for most of this stuff. It's gotten to the point where I'm actually considering buying multi-carts, doing away with most of the games, selling them off, and just being happy with the hardware and the multi-carts. And I know that sounds awful for those collectors out there who were like me and did enjoy having a large collection, but I just don't know. It's something I have to work through. Having to do all the work down here is really sort of put that on the back burner. I haven't even started the insurance claim yet. I have, I think it was 335 games or 340 games that I have to go through, catalog, look up the prices, turn it all in, and then fight with the insurance company to try and get some kind of payout on it. If I do, great. If I don't, I don't know. I've got as much of the artwork as I can, and I'm trying to recompress it, you know, set between boards with weight on top of it. Hopefully I'll be able to salvage some if the insurance doesn't pay off. Even if they do, I may still end up doing that and then just replacing some of the really expensive games. Because with my collection, because I wasn't collecting a lot of the sports games and I wasn't collecting a lot of the garbage games, I had a lot of valuable games. So, I don't know. It's, like I said, very, very disheartening. Now, in terms of where I'm at rearranging down here, I have been relocating plumbing. I've been rebuilding shelves. I've been building new shelves. I've got to figure out where the hell I'm going to put everything. There's just so much stuff, and it has to be in the basement. I know a lot of people are going to say, you wouldn't have had water problems if you didn't put it in the basement, and that's not entirely true. Most of the places, most of the rooms in this house, there would be potential for water damage, except the very top floor in one of the bedrooms, and they're so tiny I wouldn't be able to fit even 25% of this collection. The room that we're in, or that I'm in, I guess you're here with me in video or in spirit, the room that I'm in is about 800 square feet. I've got about 700 square feet of usable space. You know, the water heater's down here, the furnace is down here, I've got storage for some other things down here. But I've got about 700 square feet of usable space, and it barely fits. All the stuff that I want to have down here barely fits. Granted, if I got rid of the ping pong table and the air hockey table, that would clear up a lot of space, but I don't know. I got to figure out where I'm going to put all this crap, because I'm trying to avoid as many of the water pipes as I can, and where I can't avoid them, I'm actually going to encase them or enshroud them in another pipe, and then I'm going to run plastic under that. So it won't keep them from leaking if the pipe were to somehow manage to burst and leak inside the house, but what it would do is it would reroute the water so that it would drop down somewhere where I don't have game systems or I don't have video games. Actually, the video games, there's no pipes anywhere near the video games now. There is a pipe near this, but the way I've got it routed, it shouldn't leak onto this stuff. And if the pipes in the walls were to burst, it would leak down behind these cases. So is it going to stop everything? No, but it's going to stop most of it. I will limit the possibilities, even though they're already fairly limited. So there you go. My position on collecting video games, I don't know. It's subject to change. I still want to, but it's just, there's so much work to replenish what was lost, and I don't know if it's worth my time and effort or the money. And even if it were worth the time, effort, and money, there were a lot of stories that went along with a lot of those games. You know, walking into a Goodwill with my friend Eldon and finding a glass case full of Sega Genesis games, a lot of uncommon Sega Genesis games, and getting them cheap. Walking into used video game stores and finding games that I never would have thought that I had seen in the wild and being able to get them for a reasonable price. Even the games that I found on eBay, a lot of them, there are stories behind those. Finding Musha mislabeled in, I think it was video game accessories, and being able to get that for $35, a copy of Musha, that's just crazy. Even loose $35 is cheap. Finding Ghostbusters complete in the box on eBay, and basically I found that in a lot with about 12 other games that I didn't have at the time, and several games that I didn't have for the NES, and a couple of games that I didn't have for the Super Nintendo, and being able to get all of that for less than the cost of Ghostbusters by itself. There are stories that go along with a lot of those, even the eBay games. So it's not just a matter of replacing the games and getting the same artwork and getting them in the same condition. I don't have those stories anymore. There's no joy to me, or for me, to shopping on eBay or Amazon and, you know, picking up all those games at retail just because I have the money to do it. So I don't know. It's a work in progress. It's I don't know. My emotions on the subject are in progress, I guess. So there you go. Those are my feelings on those subjects. And please, go to the Midwest Gaming Classic if you're anywhere in the area. Even if you're not and you feel like driving and spending a weekend with some fellow YouTubers and video game enthusiasts, we would love to see you there. Also, don't forget, please, if you're going, at least leave a comment down below so people can see who's going. And if you can post a video so that people can watch the video and link it to this video, maybe we can set something up and we can all get together. So thanks for watching. I know this is probably like a 20-minute video. I'll see you guys later.